that phone was called to be that because I know there's some reports that there was public compliance and repeats taker and perhaps if you ever struggle with that once.
No, and the belief was in the once driving roommates in her statement, and that's out there, was that she observed something in his hand. When she saw him, but we don't know what it was.
I think he had two cell phones, or was it just the one cell phone?
I think he had one active phone, but I don't remember, so don't quote me if he had more at his home or office or somewhere else.
You can walk us through the decision to hand off the DNA process on the knife sheet over to Off-Road Labs, who's contracted by ISP, and then ultimately the FBI takes over that IgG process. And then Prosecutor Thompson, I'm curious if you had concerns about constitutional rights issues based on how the FBI conducted themselves in that part.
You're correct. The Idaho State Police has a contract with Othram Laboratories in Texas. So we flew that over there, and they started the process of working that and what was the beginning of the IgG process. And at some point during it, we made the decision to then shift that to the FBI and continue that process there.
And as to your question about legal concerns, my simple answer is no. I didn't have legal concerns about how the FBI conducted their IgG investigation, and the judge came through and made the right decision.
Did he plan it? Did he buy it with the purpose of that? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. And we don't
have anything to show or prove that he did that.
And just so there's no speculation here by what Detective Payne just said, documents under seal involving Mr. Kohberger's background, they may or may not be released down the road. I can tell you that there is no evidence of any criminal history of any significant nature. There was no evidence of a history of violence. There was no evidence of a history of a factual predisposition to do the crimes. If there are any concerns among your listeners or readers that somehow he was a serial killer in waiting with all of these prior actions, we are not aware of any behaviors like that.
Were there any location pins or any information there that could have connected him to work?
No, there wasn't. Like I said earlier, we wanted that. We looked for it in every possible way, digitally, financially, physical location, anything you could think of, anything that we thought, where is the connection? Where's the overlap? And we searched tirelessly and never found it. I can't say that he was never there at all, but we never found any evidence at all from interviewing everybody that we possibly could, talking to every person that would have that information to be able to show that he was there or that there was a connection through the restaurant.
Well, I'm sure you're going to have further questions, and certainly the question was already brought up about public records requests. Just keep in mind that if you're looking for those in the future, you will need to go to each individual agency or entity that has the keepers of those records. So just to reiterate, the website that the City of Moscow is going to be putting up, hopefully today, that will only be Moscow Police Department records, and those will be our police reports.
It appears that the plea deal, it felt a bit rushed. So
the perhaps unprecedented level of interest in a court case like this in Idaho was matched by an extremely high level of secrecy within the case. The family said that they're desperate for answers about what happened to their daughter. Do you anticipate most of the court documents being unsealed, or are there things that you will specifically discuss remain sealed?
As far as the court documents, Judge Hippler told us that he is going to work with the attorneys to go through every sealed document. Many, probably most of the documents were sealed for the purpose of protecting against tainting a jury pool. And those documents I would expect would become unsealed. requests for discovery, various things like that. There are also documents in there that contain very personal, private information regarding victims and families. I expect those likely will not be released under Idaho's protections against what the law calls unwarranted invasions of personal privacy. I will acknowledge also, we do not have evidence that the defendant had direct contact with 1122 or with residents of 1122.